Hello, good afternoon everyone. I'm Dario from Next Pharma Summit, and today my great pleasure to welcome Carol Lynch, the Chief Strategy Officer from Sandoz. Hi Carol, how are you?
Hi, good afternoon. I'm really good, Dario. Thanks.
Thank you very much, and definitely very pleased that you take this kind invitation to take part in our next talks, where we speak with many interesting pharma leaders. And we prepared a couple of very intriguing questions to you. And the first, which we would like to ask you, is please describe Carol as leader in such fast-pacing and changing environment.
Well, interesting, right? So even though I work in a very fast-paced and oft-changing environment, actually, I'm quite calm as a leader. That's one of the things that I hear often from people around me. So I'm quite a calm leader. And also the other words that I use to describe me are resilient and I'm very approachable. So approachable, I would put as, I'm just a normal person.
Thank you, Carol, for the first answer. Let's shoot ahead to the second one, which is at Sandoz and of course Novartis, you enjoy challenging role with which connects many business functions, right? Does that require many leadership styles or just one flexible model of leadership?
Yeah, it's a great question, actually, because obviously in my position, we're touching a lot of different functions across Sandoz, but also across Novartis with group as well. So you have to be a really great collaborator. So from a leadership style perspective, collaboration is something that is high on my agenda. But obviously, as you mentioned, we're responsible for strategy as well. So, I have to also flex and have the inspirational leadership in order to inspire people to want to change and do things differently. But also a little bit of pace setter sometimes as well to make sure that we're making progress and moving ahead. So there is some flexing of style that's required, but I would say the dominant style is probably the collaborative one in the main.
Thank you. Next one, the very famous Unboxed at Sandoz and Novartis, right, is a leadership model, very well known. So how to implement such style and why many fail? Because certainly I would say that the majority is failing with such way of leadership.
Yeah, so you see it often, I'm sure, on LinkedIn articles and so on about Unboxed at Novartis. And really it's about servant leadership, right? So it's about how do you enable your teams to make sure that they can be successful? How do you provide them with the right resources, remove obstacles, for example? But probably the two most important elements, which are the areas where people mostly fall down, it's also about being really clear at setting expectations for either associates or for teams. And then also providing them very clear feedback if expectations are not met. So I think those are the two areas where, especially when you're first starting out with Unboxed leadership, are the areas where we all need to keep an eye on, because those are often the places where you can fall down.
Thank you. So culture is definitely key, especially the corporate culture, and how to seed into this corporate culture, the purpose working environment, because I believe that many people still don't see purpose in some ways and situations, especially these days.
Yeah, I mean, these days, as you say, I think purpose is so important to people. And in some ways, actually, the COVID, the pandemic has really helped us to reconnect many of our associates to our purpose again. And our purpose is about pioneering access for patients, right? It's about making sure that patients can really get access to those affordable options, which, otherwise medicines may be out of reach for far too many people around the world. And to each of our associates, I'm sure it has a slightly different meaning, but often it's very personal. And so what we try to do is a number of different things, right? So one is about making sure that we always keep the patient or the healthcare system front and center in all of our conversations. So whether it is in a town hall setting or even just the artwork that you have on the walls is often related to patients. But then if you think about it, every time we launch a product, which is pretty often in a generic company, there's always a story to be told about how this is enhancing access to medicines for patients. So it just becomes part and parcel of our conversation and our dialogue on a daily basis. And I'm really proud to say that at Sandoz, we have a really deep passion around the purpose for the organization. And we see it in so many so many different forums. So I'm really proud of the passion that we have for our patients in the organization.
So patient first, indeed.
Absolutely.
Next one, which moment in your professional career shaped your leadership style? Do you remember it maybe?
Yes, and I often talk about this actually, and it wasn't really a moment, it was quite a long moment. It was actually when I moved from being in a commercial organization, so having a leadership role in commercial, and moving to having a leadership role in the development organization. And so suddenly I found myself in a situation where I was leading a team of people who were quite different to me, and I was responsible for content that was not familiar to me at all, right? For the first 6 months, I understood each individual word, but when they put it together in a sentence, I was like, whoa, you've lost me. So I had to learn to lead from a position where I had no expertise, very limited knowledge, and I certainly wasn't, the expert in the area at all. And so you learn to lead from a very different place. And so I spent the first 6 months on a very steep learning curve from a leadership perspective. But also about how I motivated teams as well, because I tried for the first few months to motivate the development team the same way that I'd motivated sales and marketing teams in the past. And I kept thinking, what is wrong with these people? And then I'm ashamed to say, about 8 weeks in, I suddenly realized actually maybe I'm the problem. So I went to our HR department and said, you need to tell me a little bit more about development people and how do they like to team, what's important to them, how do you motivate them? So those were 2 very important lessons that I learned when I made that transition.
Thank you very much for that very meaningful answer, if I can say so. Last question block. Did family in particular change your leadership style in some way? Because family is changing, of course, everyone and each of us in some certain way.
Yeah, it's an interesting one, right? Because families have the best ability to keep you grounded as a person, right? And they tell you the honest truth. But actually, it was probably a question from my nephew that probably had the most impact from a family perspective, because he asked me when he was quite young, what is it that you do at work all day? And it really made me think about it. And my first answer was going to be, well, I sit in meetings most of the day and listen to things, and then you're trying to explain to a young child, and I either say yes or no, or please do some more work and come back again. And I could see this look on his face. I was like, wow, that doesn't sound really good, does it? But it made me think and be a bit more mindful about, why am I in meetings? So yes, there's often a decision to be made or a topic to be discussed, but it goes beyond that as well. I think, there's a reason that I need to be there, but there's also possibly things that people need from me who are in the meeting as well, that goes beyond the actual decision. So it made me try to be a bit more mindful about how I do my job.
Thank you very much. And let's move forward to our next question block, the famous quick fire questions, where we ask a short question and we would kind of appreciate a very short answer. So the first one is your favorite British and global product.
So probably not a proper product, but my favorite British thing is the sense of humor. That's the thing I probably miss. Yeah, it's probably the one I miss most when I'm not at home. Yeah. Or fish and chips. Take your pick.
Great answer. Hobby in which you enjoy most?
Say that again, sorry?
Hobby in which you enjoy most?
So hobby, I would say, actually this is a newfound love, is a very early morning walk. So first thing, I get up and get out there, especially when it's a nice day. I don't love it too much when it's raining. But when it's a nice day, getting out there, having a brisk walk, first thing in the morning before I start my day, it's the best time of the day.
Okay, great one. Proudest moment in your life?
Oh, wow.
Or moments?
I was going to say, probably my proudest moments are ones that involve other people, like where, I don't know, maybe when I've shaped something or enabled something to happen for somebody. I can't think of an instant one off the top of my head.
Okay. And first thing you will do when we go back to some kind and way of normal?
So in order, first of all, I will get my hair cut by a professional as opposed to me having a go. And then I'm going to go to Spain. We keep a home there, and I haven't been able to be there for about 18 months now. So looking forward to going back.
Great. So Carol, thank you very much for these very honest and interesting answers, and wish all the best, and hopefully you will reach out Spain very, very quick.
I hope so. Thank you, Dario.
Bye.
Bye-bye.